Here we go, race 5, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, American Magic.
It's American Magic there, extending away downwind. They're pretty much going to want to basically try and lock Alinghi Red Bull Racing into windward there and not let them get behind. So Alinghi Red Bull Racing need to make sure that they can actually get clear there and not get locked out above the start line.
Inside the last 30 seconds to start for race 5 of this Louis Vuitton Pirelli Regatta. Not too much toing and froing at the moment.
I've got a strong position here for American Magic off this start.
Straight run to the line for both these AC75s who are underway on day 2. Race 5, the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta.
Yeah, Shirley, really tough for Alinghi Red Bull Racing to hang there. They're going to have to tack out fairly shortly or they're going to get paid a big penalty.
A bit of mistiming for them. I felt they went for the push, but they went too late. And, well, Tom Slingsby and American Magic could just completely do his own thing and get such a perfect start.
Let's go on to the water chase 0, Peter Lester. What did you make of the start, Pete?
Yeah, strong start by American Magic. Time on distance was perfect. Alinghi were always going to be pushing hard to get to the line. They forced a peel away early. So initial advantage to American Magic off the line.
Really interesting that American Magic decided not to hit Alinghi there, so they must see something out to the right-hand side of the course, more breeze, because match racing normally you would have landed straight on there.
We have generally seen the right-hand side, particularly at the bottom part of that course, really be quite favoured.
30 seconds, so almost just before boundary. Look down in 3, 2, 1.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate. Course length is now 1.75 nautical miles.
That's margin if we make that.
Even top gates, I'm happy to go for a boundary tack and see if I can that out.
It was so nice to hear the dialogue between the helmsman there, Tom Slingsby and Paul Goodison. They really want that right-hand side, aren't they? Fighting hard for it, in preference really to defending with Alinghi.
Must have been a real team plan to protect the right there because they're really working that right-hand side of the course hard. Just having a look at the wind field coming up fairly shortly here at what's actually happening on the course. And you can see Alinghi Red Bull Racing there over to the left-hand side of the course there. Nice pressure coming down from the top right for American Magic, so they'll take a further gain as they get into the top gate.
How far is the tack? Yeah, it's going to be 10 seconds the other way, a bit less. And then a bear away, guys, so right.
American Magic comfortably will take the top gate for the first leg of this 6, and they'll then head downwind. Just look at the way the speeds are. They'll take the right-hand gate, or the left-hand gate as you see it, right-hand to them, heading back towards that pressure. And smoothly go around. They had memories yesterday of maybe a bad rounding, but they are slick, and they're followed around by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. This is always the fascinating thing. Watch the speeds increase downwind. 12 seconds to deficit.
Having a look at the wind field here, overlaid of what's actually on the course there, and you can see both boats sailing into better pressure there. American Magic probably getting the best transition through this pressure, so we should see them with a slightly higher boat speed as they sail through this pressure.
Yeah, it's pretty even. American Magic are flying a little bit lower to the water, so they're getting a nice end plate effect from the hull to the water, especially forward of the mast. And their manoeuvres are small. I've got them extending a little bit. Point to just note, you know, that they're doing a boat length every second at the moment at 40 knots. That's just how quickly they gobble up leg 2.
Down in 3, 2.
What about the pace, Glenn? Do you think we can tell anything from this race about the relatives?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one, actually. I mean, it's really the first time these two teams have really lined up against each other, and they'll be absolutely gauging everything, you know, off each other. And just that little advantage that American Magic had off the start, they sort of have capitalised on that little gain to the right-hand side of the course and really not allowing Alinghi Red Bull Racing much breathing space to really sort of sail their own race. They're dictating them quite fiercely.
Lots of wind speed differences all over the course, and you know, if you are ahead, you pick your own way, don't you? It's like skiing down the moguls. You pick your way through it, and if you're behind, you know, less choice about where you go. So hard to really know if it's breeze related or if it's actual boat speed.
And Bonham.
Right, guys, we got 20 seconds this way before a right-hand turn. We got a nice lead over them. Halfway through.
Confidence building. You sense that when you hear them, doesn't it, with the American team?
Still quite a big left here.
Helm and trim of American Magic as they go down and will take the top mark in a comfortable lead at the moment against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. And we're at the halfway mark of race 5 in the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here off the coast of Barcelona. Another glorious day in the Catalan capital. And that deficit now has popped out to 31 seconds.
Yeah, the trailing boat in these conditions, having to sail through the bubble of dirty air every tack on the upwind. Even though they're not getting hit, they're having to sail through the turbulent air off the boat in front every time they tack, going upwind and downwind in actual fact. So a little loss of power, a little loss of efficiency in these conditions when the rigs are bending the air a lot, and that makes a big difference. Just having a quick look at the ghost boat shots here, Stephen, you know, there's really not a whole lot that Alinghi Red Bull Racing can do here at the moment with the breeze on the course. The ghost boat's saying, you know, they've just got to stay in touch with American Magic. They can't jibe away for anything special, so they just need to keep sailing the boat well. But having a look at the rig here, you can imagine the air going around those sails, and that is using energy. That's what's sucking the boat forward. That exhausted air, if you like, off the back of the rig is very, very turbulent and very dirty. It's very, very unclean for the boat behind. So that trails out the back, and the opponent will sail through that turbulent air. It's a bit like an aircraft taking off. You have to give a couple of minutes for the runway to clear. It's exactly what's happening here. They're sailing through the dirty air of the plane in front of them.
Pressure looks similar in front both sides.
Yeah, definitely getting softer this way.
The start, Sabello, is so important, isn't it? Particularly when the conditions are like this. Where do you think the error was? What happened?
You know, I think American Magic did a good job on just reducing the gauge between the boats and having a good acceleration for us. By trying to accelerate more, we had to come down and be too close to them. So I think was that just the difference, and after we had to deck out, they had for sure a better deck and they could control after the first cross. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the team is working really hard every day, a huge effort to improve. We keep going and do the same for tomorrow.
You see the wind field here, Shirley. It's you know, up and down. Those sort of different colours basically representing around sort of 2 to 4 knots of pressure. The green, or the darker green, about 4 knots more than the sort of darker blue. So puffs and lulls coming across the course, but hard to tack and take the advantage of each of those puffs and lulls, because you're losing about 7 to 8 knots of boat speed every time you tack. So you really have to tack on something big. So being a smooth course, you're pretty much boundary bouncing at the moment.
American Magic will cross the line with a confident win in race 5 of the Louis Vuitton preliminary regatta here in Barcelona. So there is the result of race number 5, a 56-second win to American Magic against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2-0 the Americans, 1-1 Alinghi Red Bull Racing.